Welcome back to the Getting It Wrong podcast. I'm Gabrielle,
I'm Morgan.
and we have a special guest today.
My name is Cedric, and I'm happy to be here.
So, today we're going to be doing something a little different. I know our setup looks really different. We have a different backdrop, different mic, different guests, and we're so happy to have him today. What are we going to be doing? I think Cedric can talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, well, first, I think it should be important to how I know you all, like how I even got here.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Right?
Very smart.
Yeah. So I'm Cedric. I've known both Gabby and Morgan for a long time. I actually met Morgan in kindergarten, and then we reconnected in high school. I met Gabby in high school, and then we've just stayed friends since then. And so they invited me to be on to share a few things with y'all and to just chop it up, have some good conversations. So again, happy to be here and happy to have some great friends with such a great platform.
Love that. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So one thing that we want to do today is you may see here we have this card game called Life Story Interview Kit. And so I was on TikTok. I'll be on TikTok sometimes. I just be scrolling. And TikTok shop get you. And so it was one of these things where it was just like questions that you can interview family members, whether it be grandparents, parents, and TikTok shop maybe buy it. So the goal is to really just dive deeper, ask questions, really learn about people you already know and learn more about their lives. So it's divided into a few different sections. It's divided into early life, midlife, and later life and reflection. And so what we want to do today is actually go through a card from each of these sections and ask each other the questions to learn about each other. The way the audience can learn about us as well, and so that way we can have some fruitful conversation. Did I miss anything? Is that accurate? Did I capture that correctly?
No, you got it perfectly. But also, Cedric has a podcast. Do you want to talk anything about yours while we're let some stuff out here?
Oh yeah, that's true. So I do have a podcast with my good friend T McLean. It's called the Invited Podcast. We're on sort of a hiatus right now, but the whole purpose of our platform is to really learn about each other, learn about other people, and then really use that platform as a way for others to learn how to get to where those individuals are. So we interview many people from chiropractors to stand-up comedians to Emmy nominated news anchors. Actually, the person who was Emmy nominated news anchor has won an Emmy from that we've interviewed. So across the board, so it's really to introduce people to them, but also introduce them to our audience and for people to connect, network, things like that. So you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, Invited Pod. Again, we'll be back soon. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we're just gonna wing it.
Let's get started.
All right, let's get started. So we're gonna pop it off here. Bow. And so again, early life, midlife, and later life and reflection. So we're gonna just take a stab, pick a random card, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right, cool. Let's see. Let's find a good one though. Some of these are kind of interesting. We can do. Well, we already did this one in person. Let's see. Let's check it out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it out and y'all pick a random one. How about that?
All right.
We'll do it that way.
Okay.
Pick a card, any card. Do I read it out loud? Okay. Did your family have any holiday traditions?
Yeah, since I got the mic, I'll go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so for Christmas, one of our traditions was like to tell stories, and I would just sit in bed with my probably two younger siblings at that time, and we would just make up stories about Christmas. It was so cute and fun. In addition to that, we would also go around and my parents would tell like all the reasons why we shouldn't get something for Christmas.
That's kind of shady.
It was shady, but we would always get something for Christmas the next day.
Yeah.
But it was just like, okay, let's see what you did. And it was more like fun.
Yeah.
It was definitely fun. They'd be like, remember when you did this and that in school and but it was always fun. It was lighthearted, but it was just one of our traditions. So
y'all did that early Christmas, late Christmas?
we did it like Christmas Eve usually.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
How does that follow up? Is that something that you want to do with your own family, or Do you have Christmas, now that you have a family of your own, do you have your own Christmas traditions that you currently have or holiday traditions?
Mm. So that's a good question. I don't do that in particular because I am more open about there not being an actual Santa Claus.
Okay.
So our game was centered around like would Santa get you something or would you get cold, that kind of thing. Um, but I think like the traditions that we have now are I don't know if we have any. Like we play games every right before Christmas, and like some of the other holidays, but I don't think we have any. That's something to think about because I do want us to have like traditions. I do want my daughter to like think back on the holidays and feel like we really had something to like reminisce about.
Yeah. But I mean, at the very least, do you guys all get together every
We do
year?
all get
Yeah.
together.
So,
We do all play games, but I feel like now that we're talking about it, I do want to be like more intentional about having like traditions.
yeah, I like that.
Gabby, you want to take a stab at it?
I'll let you go next, Cedric.
Okay, perfect.
Hmm.
So growing up in the morning, we had a Christmas breakfast every Christmas, and so it'd be my dad's side of the family, and we'll get together either at our house, my grandma's house, my great aunt's house, and we'll just be all over there. And like my dad's side of the family doesn't get together that much, like we don't have like family reunions or things like that. That was like the Christmas breakfast tradition. So we all go over there. Uh, Everyone be cooking. The basketball games be on NBA Christmas all day. Seeing people that I typically only see on Christmas, and then we all just hang out. And then one thing I used to hate as a kid, but it's probably cool now to look back at. We all used to sing Christmas carols, and it was like forced, and it's like you have to sing. Everyone had to sing. It's like if you're downstairs watching the game, if you're upstairs eating, drop all that. Come to the middle. They had a piano at my great aunt's house. Somebody would play the piano, and then we would sing Jingle Bells. Uh, what's another
Um,
Christmas song? Silent Night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things like that. And then it was low key used to turn to like a church service because
I
like
like that.
one of my great aunts is like in ministry of some sort, so it wouldn't be like super formal, but she'll start a little preaching a little bit
Hmm.
and talking about scripture and stuff like that. And so that would be like the morning time. Before that, sorry, we'll get up, open gifts, things like that. Head over to Christmas breakfast, come back and chill for a little bit. Then my mom's side, they usually have Christmas dinner, so that's more food, more hanging out. That side of the family I see a lot more often. So it's more not like a huge deal, but it's more just like, hey, what's up? Saw you last week. We're back together this week. And we'll play games, whether it be taboo or cards, lots of different card games, things like that. So it's like a full day from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep.
So, what was your favorite part of the Christmas Day tradition?
I think seeing both sides of the family, one, I think that'd be the biggest thing. It's like best of both worlds. And just being surrounded by people all day long. So it's like from the time you wake up in the household, everyone's opening gifts, and you go, dad's side of the family, mom's side of the family. So you get to see everybody, and then you get to like bring your Christmas toys around, like the good stuff. Like I got this, I got this, I got this,
Yeah.
and it kind of flex. It's like a 10-year-old or whatever. But like the good stuff, my mom will let me bring out. Like she like, yo, too many kids over there, it's gonna get messed up. And I used to get so upset. But I would go to these places, and the toy I got, someone else had it was all messed up. So I was like, you know what, my mom knows best sometimes. So yeah.
Cool. For me, our family tradition for Christmas time on my mom's side of the family, we would always do like a what do you call that game? Like, is it White Elephant or something where you exchange?
Secret Santa or White Elephant?
It was Secret Santa.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Secret Santa, and I did not like Secret Santa at all. I always felt like people gave me gifts that were way younger for what my actual age was. Like I think one time I was 12 and someone got me like a baby doll stroller.
You were high.
I was so mad. I was so upset and I couldn't hide it. Like I literally was in tears and I walked out of the room and I got in trouble. But I felt like I had the right to be upset.
That's, you know what? You probably wish you were playing White Elephant because White Elephant, if I'm not mistaken, that's the one where you can switch to someone. That
Mm.
would have, yeah,
That would have been good because I'm 12. I'm almost a teenager. Why are you giving me a Winnie the Pooh baby doll stroke?
No.
She got a bone to pick with somebody. Speaking to the camera.
I'm sorry if you're watching this. I love you, but I was very upset. I still love you. We can move on. I won't bring it up again. I honestly probably did. I changed the whole vibe for Christmas. Another thing that we would do is with just my immediate family, like we would like recite poetry. Like, no, I don't think we would recite poetry. I think they would, because we had a fireplace, and they would make me stand up on the fireplace and like recite poetry and all these things. Basically, like I was performing for everyone for Christmas.
Were you one of the only kids?
So I was the only kid for a while. I was only kid for like 6 years. Um, but yeah, so I would perform for everyone for Christmas.
So it's like that scene off a Cosby Show. You know what I'm talking about? Where Rudy Huxtable came down
Yeah,
and was singing and they did the whole little
yeah,
shebang.
like we would put on performances. Well, mostly me would put on
Yeah.
performance for Christmas. So yeah, that was fun. Looking back on that, it was really fun. Even though sometimes I wouldn't want to do it, I still enjoyed myself.
Do you have traditions for the holiday for your household, your family now?
So we are creating some new traditions. The new tradition now that we did last year was I'm hosting Christmas at my place. So like I'm cooking and I'm setting everything up and getting everyone together. Not everyone, not the whole family, but you know, the immediate family. And that's not something I planned on doing anytime soon. So that's been new for me. It's fun. So I want to create some new traditions while we're at my place. I just haven't thought of anything yet. We just open presents at my place and eat. So
You should do the White Elephant.
the white elephant, not the other one because it's too triggering. But not Secret Santa, but maybe White Elephant.
I hope that's what it's called.
That's what it's called. That's what it's called. Is it? I have another question. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Is it a lot of pressure hosting?
It is, especially if you're not used to hosting. Like I can host my friends for like, something very chill, but I feel like there's a lot of pressure when it's actually family that comes over because family can be picky. Last time, I'm not naming any names, but someone was like, "Oh, you cook like you just cooking for yourself."
What does that mean?
I didn't cook enough food.
Oh wow.
But it's fine.
Shady.
So shady, but I love my family.
Did they bring some?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what you're doing next year.
Yeah, that should be a part of the new tradition. Hey, you can't speak unless you bring something.
I like that. New boundary.
Yeah. Cool. So that was the early life one. We can move on to the midlife one. So we'll get this out here, and then I'm going to put the mic down, hand it to Morgan, and then I'll let Morgan pick a card.
Did you work during college? Ooh, that's a good question. Gabby, you're ready.
Did I work during college? I always had about 2 or 3 jobs during college. So, what can I remember? I know I started off working at like the Shea Fitz Arena. So that was like a work study job that I did. It was super fun. You got to see concerts for free. But when I was younger, I used to always take my job so seriously. Like I did my job. Like I could have been the manager of the Shea Fitz Arena. I'm not joking. I used to work at the Shea Fitz Arena. I used to work in a media lab. I used to work in an art lab. And I used to have to set up all the art supplies. And then it would be so cool because you could see them doing like the naked models and stuff. Like that was interesting. Um, what else did I do? I used to work for a food truck. And then
I worked there too, remember?
I did. I brought you, I put you on. And then were you working with me when we went to the racetrack?
We didn't work together though.
Oh, okay. Well, I worked at a racetrack. What didn't I do? Yeah, I worked all the jobs, all the office jobs in college, like always 2 or 3 at a time. Why did I do it? I enjoyed having money.
Was that hard with your studies?
It was, but I am a little insane. So it's like I could do it no problem. The only problem I had is when I decided to take 18 credit hours and work at the same time.
Crazy.
And I was also taking organic chemistry. I've told this story on the podcast before. That was insane. I couldn't do it. I ended up having to drop a class and a job, but
We made
I had a mental breakdown.
Okay.
But yeah, working, college, I did it.
Okay.
Who's next?
I guess that would be me. So I did work in college, but not right away. So like all of freshman year, I did not work. I was just chilling, just doing school, just hanging out, just wanted to enjoy the college life. And then towards the end of freshman year, I was like, I want some bread. And so my homeboy Dante, he put me on his job as a YMCA referee for youth basketball. So it would be 12-hour days, just 12 hours a week, really. So one day a week, 12 hours, from like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. refereeing kids from kindergarten through like 8th grade.
Wow.
It was very tough because parents would get on you, and then the older the kids got, they would get on you.
Oh man.
And then I'm like, I'm just here, man. I'm just trying to.
trying to do my job.
Trying to do my job. Like the next week, coaches come up to you like, "Hey, man, you missed a few calls last week." And I didn't really know how to respond. I'm just like, hey, man, your kid is bad. He's not good. So what do you want me to do? So I was there for a couple months, and then like I just never heard back from them. Like
like it was seasonal, and then they didn't call you for the next.
Well, no, it wasn't even. So after basketball, I was reffing flag football, but then the way the schedule worked, there wasn't like an actual schedule. They would text you the week before and say, hey, can you work this week? And you would say yes or no. Funny thing is, our mutual friend Kathy played an April Fool's joke on me one day that year where she said, hey, she had one of her friends call. It was like, yo, you're fired. Someone I didn't know. And I believed it. It was a joke. But after that, I really actually never heard from the YMCA ever again.
Oh, wow.
That was gone. And after that, I worked, my boy Kenny, he put me on Kmart. Okay. They were like, yo, we like you. You're going to be electronics. You're going to be doing this, doing that. On my second day, they had me in the back stocking shelves. I said, I don't like that. Never went back. It probably looked bad on Kenny. My bad, my boy. But I wasn't a shelf stocker. I was supposed to be in electronics with the games.
Understandable.
And after that, I worked at Arso, which turned into the Ball, the sneaker boutique in the Del Mar Loop. Was there for several years. Really, really cool. Got the newest J's, newest shoes. Got to meet a lot of cool people in a cool location. So that was kind of it until I transferred to Mizzou. And then I worked at the Collins Center. And that's basically where you called alumni and asked them for money to donate to the school. So that was rough because like no one wants to give money. It was who wants to give money when you're still paying off student loans. Then we went through some race stuff, at Mizzou where we were protesting and all of that.
Yeah.
We're calling old white alumni and they were like, yo, what's up with these blacks? It was actually had a call like that. It was an older white lady. She graduated in the 40s or the 30s. She was like, the blacks were doing this when I was in school. Don't they see Oprah Winfrey? Oprah's rich. Why are they still complaining?
Wow.
And I was just like, thank you, ma'am. You don't have to give money. And that was basically my college work experience, my career in college. So those were the vibes there.
Wow. Oprah.
That's a lot. That's funny. I feel like we all had some of the same jobs. I worked at that food truck you worked at.
Mm-hmm.
I worked calling the alum, like in the admin office, calling alumni. Of course, they didn't want to give money. I also had racist encounters. Not like that though. I worked in the box office, selling like theater tickets. I worked as what would you call it? I worked like to help stream the basketball and football games. Okay. I would like put the score up for online, but I would be falling asleep. I know one time it said like 120 points, and I got a call, and I was like, oh no, I was asleep.
What was it supposed to be?
Probably like, it was football.
Oh.
You wild.
It was football. I was like, oh no. I worked at like a news station for a little while. That was fun. Yeah, I had a lot of jobs. In fact, I had some of those all at the same time, like Gabby. and I had 18 credit hours at that time. One of the jobs, the news station in particular, it started at 4 a.m. and it ended because there were like, you would have to go for each like news broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one that started at like 5 in the morning, and then one in the afternoon, and then one that ended at 11 at night. So like going to bed at like midnight and then getting up for the 4 a.m. to wake up, and then also having other jobs and classes in between it, I was losing it. I know I slept through at least one.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
One early morning one. It was no point. I wasn't making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Just so,
or doing well in school at that time. So it was like, why?
It's okay. We live and we learn.
We learn.
Getting it wrong is the first step to getting it right.
Eventually, I did quit one of the jobs. Mm-hmm. Like you said, I had to quit a job. I didn't have to stop one of my classes. The classes weren't hard.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely had to take something off my plate to make that work.
All right, listen to me. If we have any young listeners, don't overdo it.
Yeah.
Figure out your limits. Figure them out quickly, so you don't make the same mistakes that we did. Okay.
Big facts.
For real.
Cool.
Another one.
And so now we're going to the later life section. I guess I'll pick this one since I haven't